Croydon Chats is powered by TBXH, more than just a workspace. It's a thriving community built on collaboration, connection, and shared growth, home to businesses, creatives, and innovators shaping Croydon every day. Discover more at tbxh.co.uk. Today on Croydon Chats, we're joined by Rajan Amin, who's the Engagement Director at PK Partnerships and co-founder of Connecting Croydon, together with our co-host, Tegan, who's part of the Croydon Chats team. Welcome, Rajan, to Croydon Chats.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah.
It is really exciting to have you on our sofa. We know that you're such a stalwart of the Croydon community, known as Mr. Croydon. So Rajan, tell us a little bit about how you landed in Croydon and your journey to how that today.
Yeah, so Croydon, we landed, we had a franchise called Covershaw. And in 2014, our head office offered us the opportunity to move our office from Kennington, where the old tube station is near the cricket ground, from Kennington to Croydon. There used to be a Croydon Covershaw in the Wingate. Two brothers used to run it. And the year we opened Covershaw in Kennington in 2003, I believe, they closed that down. So head office always wanted a Covershaw in Croydon because obviously it's a big town and they wanted an office here. They offered it to us, and me and Hina at that time, we'd gone through some difficult period with the business and that. We immediately said, yes, we'd love to. It did cost us quite a bit to move. It cost us almost in those days £10,000. We had to break our lease where we were, had to pay for that, had to find a new office, pay for that, and the move and that. But it completely changed our business, and I was confident about that. And I remember my very first, and I talked to Pat from Surrey Inks, who's a childhood friend of mine. Before we moved, I said, Pat, I'm coming to Croydon. I want you to help me to get into the networking circle. And he said, yeah, Rajan, settle in first few months. We moved on the 15th of June, 2015.
You remember that date
yeah,
exactly?
Absolutely. That date actually coincides with the same date I joined Allied Dunbar in 1991 when I entered the financial and insurance industry. So it's quite, there's a link there, 15th of June. And in September, he took me to the big breakfast at the IKEA. And I've never seen anything like that. There was more than 100 people queuing outside IKEA at 6:30 to get in. Wow. It used to be organized by Catherine, White Label, and that. It was called the Big Breakfast, IKEA. And that really just set the scene. It was all about people. It was all about being out there, shaking hands, engaging with real business owners, And I think what helped us succeed as insurance brokers was there wasn't really any other insurance broker in that arena at that time. So that helped. But yeah, so it set the scene. We were really happy and proud to move, and we grew double digit every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And talk to us, for somebody that's never met you before, when you introduce yourself, what is PK Partnerships all about?
PK Partnership celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. Started by Prakash Patel, Croydon boy himself, got a job with an insurance company in 1974. In those days, the products of the company you could sell after work. So he would come home, have his dinner, get on a bus, and then go and sell life cover or shop policy or car policy or, a savings plan because somebody's had a baby. And if you remember the early, late 70s, there was a huge influx of Asian from East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, coming to this country for a better life for a number of reasons. I'm an immigrant from Uganda because there was Idi Amin, who exiled all the Asians in 1972. I was 7 when I came here. So, we celebrate our 50th anniversary, always based in Croydon. And we do 4 disciplines there. So there are 4 things we do. I'm very proud to say we're chartered insurance brokers. There are just over 244 chartered brokers in the United Kingdom. We are one of them. We are one of a handful in Croydon. So very proud of that. We also do private medical insurance. We're wealth managers, so we look after your money to help it grow. And we do mortgages. So we're 4 disciplines. And so I'm very proud to be part of that team since last November after 25 years at Covershaw. And very respectful of the task they've given me. I've got a very clear, defined role, 3 things that I'm helping to move that business forward and hopefully into the next 50 years. So, yeah.
So what's the top mandate for you, those top 3 things?
Top 3, one is to raise the profile of PK Partnerships. So if I said to Tegan, who's been in Croydon a while, have you heard of PK Partnership?
I had him before you went there.
So there you are. So really, to continue what I was doing at Cover Show, which is going out, shaking hands, attending network events, being part of the local business community, and hence raising the brand and the profile of PK. So that's one, and that also indirectly drives business back to the office. We have a beautiful office, so please come and visit us. And I, continuously invite people to our office, so they get to understand what we do, and we listen to what they do. And then we can see if we can work with each other. It's not all about doing business with each other.
Yeah.
Number two, build a stronger team. And I've already demonstrated that. I was 9 when I joined in November. We were 9 people. We're now going to 12 from August. We've just got a new person joining us. So we're strengthening the team. We're releasing a couple of pinch points, which helps the whole business grow and the team develop as a team. And number 3, we're quite a unique business. Wealth management and mortgages sit on our first floor. Chartered insurance brokers, private medical insurance sit on the ground floor. But like a lot of businesses in the UK, the clients upstairs don't know what we do downstairs, and the clients downstairs don't know what we do upstairs. There's just a very small overlap. We want to change that dynamics. So we're cleaning up the database before we start touching them and communicating with them and talking to them to say, are you aware of the 4 disciplines that we do? We want to be the one-stop professional office for our clients. One phone number, speak to a human being. And our mantra is protecting your tomorrow today.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And I love the fact that you've got that whole wraparound model. So that importance of diversification, especially in the current economy, is quite key.
I think it's key throughout. Look, we're always going to have cycles, just like your weather, just like the economy, just like, our football team, everything goes in cycles, just like insurance premiums. Sometimes they go up, sometimes. So we call it a hard market or a soft market. So I think the importance of, having good financial planning, having the right insurance, not just a piece of paper, you need peace of mind. That's something I really strongly believe in with my background. So yes, absolutely. And if you can have one office where you have, so one of the USPs I think about PK partnership is generational diversity. PK is 75 in a few weeks. So he started the firm when he was 25.
Wow.
We celebrate our 50th anniversary this year. He is now looking after 4th generation clients. Try and get your head around that. Great grandchildren who have grown up, and he's now looking after their. And within the Asian community, it's very much about who's looking after your financial affair. Well, he's also looking after his uncle and sister and brother, and which is a great way to do business because it's all about trust.
Yes.
And if you break that trust, you lose all of that, not just one client.
Yeah.
So the fact we're here 50 years down the road, you can see how proud I am to work for them. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just something that you said there, touching on the importance of the intergenerational dynamics, and lessons from the Asian community. That whole intergenerational decision-making process, respect. Access, all of that is incredibly important. How do you see, as somebody that's come from a whole different continent, and we are in such a diverse tapestry of a community here in Croydon, over 130 different languages, a whole multicultural fabric. How do you see, your own family dynamics play out in the way that you operate in business?
I didn't do very well at school. I failed my O levels to start with. I had to take my English 3 times. I had to take my maths twice. So not rare. I failed my A levels. Gave them independently, privately, paid I think £90 in those days, huge sum of money. So going back to 81, 82, and my dad realized that Rajan isn't academically suited. So at that time, my uncles had sweet shops, like a lot of Asians did. Started off in Mitcham on Northborough Road, where the crematorium is, the sub-post office. And I got behind the counter, and very quickly I realized I'm a people person. Sun newspaper, Friends magazine, or, chocolate bar, whole nut, which I love, by the way. And so I realized that was my gift. My gift was gift of the gab. I could talk to people.
Yeah.
But coming back to the family thing, so I did that for a few years. It didn't really work out. And then I wanted to go into financial services. And my dad was a little bit against it, and on my first day at Allied Dunbar, 15th of June, 1991, he sat me down before I went to the office and he said, look, son, I'm still giving you an opportunity. If you want to buy a shop in your own name, not with me or your uncles, we can still do that. one last chance. And I said, no, Dad, I made my mind up. I was a 26-year-old brash kid, thinking I knew better than my dad. And the only reason I was thinking like that, because I had a roof over my head and the meals were provided.
Right.
Because I was living with my family.
Yes.
We were living on top of a shop in Balham. We had a shop at the front and we lived upstairs.
Yeah.
So you had that, I had that sort of
Yeah.
ego, but I didn't realize at the time that I could do that, but I
Yeah.
could because I'm living at home.
Yeah.
And he said something that I still practice today, and I tell everybody that I meet. So he said to me, look, you're entering an industry that can be really successful, but in two different ways. He goes, I want you to do business in two ways if you go down this path. So, he set me down and he said, look, if you're going to go down this career path into financial services and that, I want you to do business in two ways. And you need to promise me that. So one is whenever you sit down in front of someone and you give them advice, I want you to pretend you're giving it to me. Would you sell it to your father? If you wouldn't sell it to your father, I don't want you to sell it. And the second one really struck a chord with me. He said, if you do business with someone and then a year later you meet them at a wedding reception or a party and you catch eyes across the room, you shouldn't have to turn your back thinking, oh God, he's in the room. What should happen is that person should cross the room to shake your hand.
Wow.
If you do business that way, you have my blessing, off you go, son.
My goodness.
And that's what he told me then. I still practice that today, So keep a clean sheet, keep a clean heart, don't do any wrong, don't try and, and that's what we practice. That's my mantra. That's what we did with our business. That's why I want to work with PK, because that's the same culture and same family values.
Those are two incredible. I mean, it's so simple, isn't it?
It's very simple.
So
That's
simple.
how you should live your life, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Tegan, I know that you met Rajan and you know him quite well. What was it that first was that shining light when you?
I think just two bubbly, chatty people. Hey. I think, myself, I've obviously been in the Croydon area about 4 years now. I think there's definitely a group of people that I've met along the way who I know champion Croydon and see the potential. And I think that was definitely something, just your passion for like your stats, knowledge of the business industry here, how many new startups there are and stuff. That was like stuff I've learnt from you. Obviously what we do here at TBXH, we're all kind of on the same mission, really, just fitting in different ways. But we just have a chit chat.
Yeah, no, that's very kind. Thank you so much for that. And I think, look, we saw a couple of different service office ways, but this was my favorite. And we were with John at that time, John Palmer. And I said, if you're going to move anyway, it's got to be here. Because I think, businesses like this are really important centers in any town center, not just Croydon, because they're real incubators for businesses. Because what they allow is they allow businesses to talk to each other, which if you're a self-employed person or even a small team, that the most thing for business owners, you're very lonely because you're making decisions yourself doing. So the ability to go to the kitchen and have a quick chat or a coffee or in the lift or even in our beautiful common room that we had downstairs. I think so. Centers like this provide a really important hub for businesses. And even if you're not a resident here, the fact that they're so open and they invite people, they hold regular events here, I think all of those, it shouldn't be dismissed, the importance of centers like this for, I'm talking about small, micro to medium businesses, absolutely critical, I would say,
I think what's really fascinating is everything we've spoken about so far just really aligns with your values and our shared values that we have here about how you treat people, the importance of connection and conversations, because entrepreneurship can be quite challenging and lonely.
Yeah. And I'm, look, I'm in a quite privileged position now, and I do, I'm 61. We've sold our business successfully. I've got myself a really lovely job, which I love, on a great package. So, I'm thankful. I'm thankful every day. I want to get out in bed and do what I want to do. So it's fantastic. But I think bringing it back to what it is, me and my dad were. My dad was a Rotarian for 34 years. And their mantra is givers gain, So, their mantra is service above self. Givers gain is BNI. I'll come to that in a minute. So from a very early age, my dad used to drive the minibus to take, disabled people in a wheelchair and that back home and my dad would take me with him. So I got that charity angle from my dad. I became a Rotarian myself for 12 years in Balham. So I think that charity aspect comes from my dad mainly and my parents, my mum and my aunt. And then, I joined BNI, and two things I practice with BNI even today, which is where I get this thing about giving before you ask to receive. One is the importance of givers gain. And I always say to people, when you're in a room and you're connecting with people, don't think about what's in it for me. Do you want to be my client? Can you give me a contact? I'm looking for the. Think about, Tegan, is that what you're looking for? You know what? I've just spoken to Caroline. I think you two should talk. And just that simple connection, and it's all about karma. You do something here, something's going to come from there. So givers gain should be really important. And the second thing is the one-to-one. A lot of people go to great network events, meet lots of people, shake hands, collect cards and that. But that's the sort of end of that meeting. If you are not following up with at least one follow-up coffee or a conversation or a meeting, come to my office or let me come to your office. Yeah. All of that is wasted, really. You've got to have at least one follow-up. So the one-to-ones, which is what, I'm inviting people to our office all the time. Nobody's saying no to me. I always say to people, you'll be amazed that people are always looking to fill their diary. They want to get up because they want to look busy, just like you want to look busy. So get out there and say to people, can we have a catch-up? Can we have a meeting? Do you have an office? Can I come and see you? Or if you've got an office, be proud of it and invite people to your office. So those two things I still practice today. I was a BNI member for 9 years in Battersea when we had our office in Kennington. I was chapter director for 4 years. It's a great platform for new businesses to cut your teeth and to get your business on the right track.
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing there is being quite intentional, though. We can be very busy networking.
Correct, yeah.
The importance is actually really is how do you actually build your network, and how do you see, because you are clearly a super connector, and, so you understand the importance of different ecosystems. How do you see your personal role in all of that, especially in Croydon?
For me now, it's all about giving back. One of the reasons I took the PK role, I've got 35 years experience in the industry. So I could have sat at home and relaxed and, try and played golf every other day or something. But there's only so much of that you can do. For me, I just want to give back. And that's something that, maybe it's a calling in me to say you've got all this experience, you've got all these connections. So every day I'm trying to give back, Yesterday I had a WhatsApp from a contact in India. We're trying to work with them at PK. His sister has just finished a master's degree in London and she's looking for a role in AI. I said, yeah, tell her to send me. I've already got 3 people in my mind that I can send that CV on to. But the connection has to be, I've got to get a gut feel. That's why I always want to meet people face to face. I don't like Teams calls. I don't like video calls. I want to meet people face to face. Want to get that feel. If I get that good gut feel, then I will try my best to try and see how I can help that person. Yeah, I'm not looking for anything in return. Yes, I'll say to them, if they're a business, I'll say, don't forget us, Tegan, when your insurance renewals do give us a shout.
Come and see me.
That's obviously a given. I'm going to do that. But there's no hard sell to say, I've given you this contact, so you must, Yes. It's genuine. It's coming from the heart. If that works for you, good luck to you. I get lifted every time somebody comes to me and says, Rajan, do you remember you did that? And to be honest, I don't remember. But just them sharing that story with me to say, you connected me with such and such and that happened. And I said, you know what? God is great. So,
Tegan and Rajan, you're both very, very creative. And so there's a special chemistry between you guys. And so what top tips do you have for each other in terms of what makes, if you could plan your ideal event with no holds barred, the canvas is blank, what would the two of you come up with together?
I don't even know where we would end up. There's too many ideas.
Well, we would definitely use the space downstairs,
I think, like you say, just the importance of a lot of events I've been to, I think when it's slightly activity-based, we've just discussed the importance of that. I think there's still a lot of events we go to where people are scared to approach each other. As soon as you add some sort of activity-based thing in, whether that be like a guest speaker and then a post-chat discussion thing, bit of speed networking, whatever it is, I think that is my key thing for an event.
I think all of those things. I think one of the things I was just saying to Tegan, we've interviewed 15 people for Connecting Croydon because we want to take it. So to ask, how do we move it forward? What do you want to keep? What don't you want to see? And I think, icebreakers, a really warm welcome. People love the warm welcome at reception that they get from Tanya and Joe and that. They love that. And then even, I'm always looking for people who are standing against a wall. to go up to them and say,
They're
hi.
holding the wall up.
Yeah, and who are you looking to talk to today? Come with me. I hold their hand and I take them to a group and say, look, newbie, look after them, and I walk off,
Yes.
And I think that's a great thing. And it's just having that, that sixth sense about who you're looking out for and helping people. And I think that's just about being genuine to say this is, and networking is not all about business. It is about, growing yourself, developing yourself, about learning, sharing, growing, championing, connecting. And if business comes out of that, great, but it's not all about the bottom line. It's not all about bartering or selling a product to each other or something.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for individuals as well as like a confidence thing.
Yeah.
I've seen some people start of events and they're super shy, and by the end of it they can't stop talking and stuff.
Fantastic.
So even like you say, regardless from like the business side of things, on a personal level, to see the growth of some people from start to end of session is it's really important as well.
I think Tegan's here. I think if you create that, and it's all about providing an environment where people feel safe and they feel welcome, where they want to come and get. So one of the other things that came out of the interviews that we did was people find that it's not really a network event; it's more meeting friends, And these people are people that they meet outside for a drink, or they go out together and they socialize together. Great, we were so proud when I was doing those. I thought, oh wow, I didn't even know you guys are doing that. Why am I not invited?
Of course, the FOMO.
Yeah.
I want to pick your brains, Rajan, around Croydon specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So, with your expert lens of 35 years plus industry knowledge, if you were to be the insurer for Croydon, how would you de-risk it from a perception point of view? And where do you see the value added points and value creation opportunities are in the borough?
That's a really well-framed question. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love the way you brought the insurance de-risking. Yeah, I love that. I think the de-risking comes from media presentation. We don't get a good, showing on the news. We're always in it for the wrong reasons, unfortunately, although we're not the only borough that has that sort of news. So I think something about lifting ourselves, so having our own PR company or something that says positive. And I would say I wouldn't really worry about people outside the borough. Unfortunately, people in our own borough have that perception. So I live in Purley and I've got neighbours who say they've never been to a Croydon Centre for 20 years, 25 years. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? And they say, it's not safe. I can't park anywhere. There's no shops there now. What are you talking about? That's all rubbish. We got car parks, we got Next, we've got Zara, we got Primark, we've got all M&S, we've got all these shops. So I think perception is the one thing we've got to change. And I appreciate Jason Perry's trying to do that, but I think it needs to be on a bigger scale. We need a team that is dedicated to it 24/7. And I would start with the people of Croydon. Like they say, you can't influence everybody and everybody can't be your friend, but let's make Croydon residents friends first. And make them proud to be Croydonians and say, you know what, support local, come to the town centre. Or if not town centre, look, you have Taunton Heath, you have Mitcham, you have Addington, you have Purley. Support local, go to these places, buy locally and support locally. From your window cleaner to your gardener to your local shop, from your newspaper to your pharmacist, whatever it is, do that. From your insurance broker, from your, hot desking person, support local. So I think that would be me de-risking Croydon, because that's the sort of mindset that we have, So that's number one. Number two, yes, as a Croydon resident, I take a walk in Croydon every day because we're just on the other side of the dual carriageway. And I think, yes, we could lift the presence, just the sight that you see, I often walk down North End and I think, this could do with a real nice lift here, just the paving stone and the broken drainage and all that. Just lifting that, I think, things like that.
Cosmetic.
Yeah. And because it is, the garden that they're building next to Croydon College.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get on with it, build it, so people have a space to go, and on weather like this, people want to go and sit there.
Definitely.
So I think there's some real positive stuff. I appreciate it all takes time. Money's not easily available. But I think, the de-risk is tell Croydon residents that Croydon is a great place. Belong, be part of a community. I think that would be the first thing I would do to de-risk it.
I think it's an element of like linking, like you said, Croydon's one borough, but the areas seem so compacted in themselves. Like East Croydon don't mix with West Croydon. And so I think there needs to be some element of
Quite
opening
territorial.
opening the boundaries between
I think I call it connecting the dots, and I've spoken
Yeah.
to Jason about this. I've spoken to other organizations about this. There's so many organizations, and helping run Connecting Croydon for the last 4 years. We've realized that we're always trying to work with, I don't want to call you hosts, we call them collaborators. We want to collaborate with other organizations. And I think the one thing we've come across with, there's so many great organizations out there, but the dots just aren't connected. And again, that's about having a central hub. Take Croydon Commitment, for example. They're a great hub for businesses who want to give back locally and putting them in touch with local good causes. Mm-hmm. That's a great example of a great hub doing great work. But we need something like that for businesses. So as you said, from the small community, the Market Traders Association to Croydon Business Association to Connecting Croydon to maybe even the BID, there are all these organizations. And we often concentrate around Croydon itself. But as you said, we've got Thornton Heath, we've got Mitcham, we've got Purley, we've got Addiscombe. There's so many great business centres.
Yes.
And we need something central, even twice a year if you get everybody together in Fairfield Halls to say this is... I remember White Label used to do the fantastic Croydon Excellence Awards. Mm-hmm. That was a great opportunity. We used to do an expo where you could hire a stall and show your wares at Fairfield Halls. I think we need to get back to doing things like that to lift, because if you lift the community and the community feels, we're showing ourselves in a good light. I think people will support that.
Yeah. There's a lot that we can unpack there. And I agree. There are lots of brilliant organizations, but it's moving away from operating in silos and actually a whole collaborative task force. Yeah. You're obviously very proud Croydonian, Croydonite, whatever you like to refer yourself. You've also, from a family point of view, your wife has played such an important role in your success. Talk to me a little bit about how that's...
So my angel's name is Hina. I knew her for a little while. We went out in 98, we got married in 99. Absolute rock, absolute, the person you want to be standing next to you, thinking outside the box constantly, from whether it's you trying to fix something that's broken in the house to business. It just amazes me every day how she's continuously... ticking away about something, and then she'll message you saying, have you thought of him or thought of her? And I'm thinking, why didn't I think of that? So Hina's been absolutely instrumental. And not just getting us to where we are now. When we started Cover Show, when we moved to Kennington, in the first couple of years, we had to draw money down on our mortgage to pay the salary and to pay the rent, and that was tough times,
So you're personally having to take on that burden.
Yes.
To carry that big backpack of the business.
Big backpack. Hina had taken a big redundancy, so we took a big risk in, a big office and that. And then we thought, what have we done? We nearly threw the towel in 2011 and told the franchise we don't want to do this anymore. We were very lucky with the directors who believed in us and then offered us to move to Croydon, which was really the turning point for us.
Wow.
Another thing a lot of people don't understand, I got married at 34. And really my stars aligned when I was 32. Prior to that, I was, working in, as I said, in shops and this and that. And I joined Ally Dunbar when I was 26, and I only really, commission only, no salary. I survived those 6 years because I was living at home. Otherwise, within a year, I would have had to go get a proper job, if I was paying rent and paying for my own food and that. So I share all this now, and maybe I didn't share it before, but I share it now because I want people to know that what you see now is not what I have always been. There is a journey there, and it's good to share that journey so people realize that it doesn't happen overnight. There is an element of hard work. But I think the most important thing that comes out of all of this is having the right partner standing next to you who supports, and hopefully we support each other, and that family support that you have around you. That includes your friends, your friends are like your family, right? So I think it's really, and within the Asian culture, it's very important. I'm going to say something that people may not like, but I think, with our younger generation now going forward, I think we're losing some of those values. And I think we have to accept that as time moves on, that you are going to lose some of that. But we have some incredibly strong values within our Hindu Asian culture, which slowly are being eroded away. It'd be nice if they were mixed and, something new came out of it, but I feel we're losing some of them. But I've grown up with a mix of that. We came here from Africa, And our parents probably thought, oh, what they're going to do, they're going to completely change. But hopefully we've settled into them. 3 years ago, my parents moved in with us. Me and Hina don't have children.
Okay.
But, my dad is 91 next month,
Wow.
So that goes back to our principle about looking after your
Elders,
parents,
yes, of course.
So something not everybody, we are blessed that we can do that.
Sure.
It was Hina's idea, not my idea. I was quite happy living in Dulwich. So, a lot of entwining.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you sit and you reflect, you realize how things have aligned and
Yes.
that. And all along the journey, there have been setbacks and there have been, we wanted to adopt a little baby. That never happened. That took up almost 6 years of our life. So lots of things on the way that you share with some people. And, today you're allowing me a platform to share. And I want to share with intention, so people understand that it's never an easy journey. But that is life. It's not a straight line. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to take different paths, but be true to yourself. Yeah.
There's a beautiful Arabic saying, and the translation is that what is meant for you will never miss you.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Your journey, it sounds like there's so much resilience and grit, and you're such a positive person that, when people meet you, you're all very calm and very well put together. So you wouldn't, necessarily realize the story that, has brought you along this journey. So thank you so much, first of all, for sharing that.
No, my pleasure.
And I suppose, let's tap into your wisdom, because I cannot believe you are 61, Rajan. You look amazing. So I don't know what your secret to
My
this
PT.
youth.
3 times a week. Yeah.
What would your message be to the younger generation today, people in their 20s and 30s that are navigating a very different world to the one that you grew up in?
Yeah, I think just counting on
Yeah,
this,
sure.
I think it's refreshing to hear you saying your stars aligned when you were 32, because I think there's so much pressure on the younger generation now to have 2 sources of income, a side hustle, whatnot, to have all their life together. So for you to say it was 32.
I share that because I had a conversation with someone and they said, oh, you must have started really early. And I said, actually, my luck changed when I was 32. I was with Dunbar. I got a call in January from a broker in Tooting to say, Rajan, we're looking for an IFA, an independent financial advisor. Joined them in April. In my first year with them, I earned more money than I earned in 7 years with Dunbar.
Wow.
Just on, that one phone call. But also being surrounded, my best man, Glenn, who was sitting next to me at Dunbar, my best man at my wedding, said, no, you've got to go. Because I was hesitant.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. What does IFA mean? And that my manager, Neil Foley at the time, said, no, Rajan, this is a gift horse. You've got to go. So they almost pushed me out the door, when I was still, so...
It's that comfort zone,
yeah,
isn't it?
it was a comfort zone. It was, and the unknown, and that's that thing about fear is something you don't know. That's why you fear it. And once you understand it, you think, why was I afraid of that? Yeah. So, but no, really, really good point, Tegan, I think. I think that's a really difficult one to answer. I mean, I have nephews and nieces, and we're very blessed. We have 3 grandkids, Raphael, who's 5-6 months now from my sister's side, from my nephew, and 2 beautiful, Mia and Max, from my niece, from my sister-in-law's side. So we are blessed with 3 grandkids. But to give advice to youngsters today, all I would say to them, and all, doesn't matter what background you come from, is that don't lose the importance of family and friends. Because I think, as you said, there's this thing about this hustle and the big car and the big house and, I don't want to say living with the Joneses. Everybody wants to live a nice life. Absolutely.
That's my last name. Didn't mean to do that.
But I think the other danger is what I call the Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. I order it now and I'll get it by 2:00. Mm-hmm. Life is not like that.
The on-demand expectations.
Yeah, that is not real life. So I would say to youngsters today to say, because what will happen is you'll be 60 before you know it, and you'll think, what's happened?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where's that gone? My kids have grown up, they've gone to uni,
Time
they're
just
back.
speeds up, doesn't it?
And you think, where's that gone? So that's what I would say, that life is not like Amazon Prime,
I love that.
Real life is...
That should be a slogan.
Yeah.
We'll get it on a
Bumper
tote bag.
sticker. Yes, tote bag, like that.
Yeah, so that's, I think, and I say that to them even when I see them, I say, look, think, it's not as you know, it's
Yeah.
because I think what today's life with the internet and AI now, and you know, everything is almost instant, isn't it? You want to check something, I can check it. Oh, you're wrong. You know, this is the
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's not all about correcting somebody, but it's about yourself and growing yourself.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
less
are
learning
human.
from mistakes now and stuff, like you
But
say. With
do
that,
people
and-
do that though? Because they think
Yeah.
they know everything,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
You know, I don't need you. I can
Yeah.
check it myself. You know, I don't need an insurance broker. I can go and get it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't need a serviced office. You know, I'll create one at home. But then you buy
It's
yourself.
just not the same.
Yes,
So
absolutely, yeah.
I think there is that element of, you know, I think the greatest tip I can give to people is learn every day. Yeah. You will never know everything. And we are here, we are a grain of sand in this world. Yeah, we'll be come and gone, and you know, in depending on your family, you know, within 20, 30 years, they won't even know your name once you're gone. So you are a grain of sand. Make the best of it where you go. I'll share one mantra. I love the Arabic saying you said. I'll share something from Sai Baba that Hina follows in our home. And it's a light without a shrine. A character without good is a shrine without light. And what that mantra says is that we are all a shrine to someone. It's about you saying your path will always find you. So if you are good, there is always somebody looking at you and looking up to you. So be good, because there is someone out there saying, you know what, I look up to you, Tiga, I look up to you. So I love that saying. I say that every morning when I sit in our prayer room, because I'm always thinking about that, to say, make sure you do good, because there is somebody looking at you, looking up to you to say, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get that.
A character without, a good character is a shrine without light. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Why did you co-found Connecting Croydon, and what have you seen happen when local businesses and charities come together?
Why did we found pre-COVID, Connecting Croydon was a hub of activity. So when we moved here in 2015, you know, I could attend 2-3 events a week. I could probably walk to most of them. There was just so much activity, networking activity going on. When there was a Croydon Chamber here, I was the chair for the last 2 years. In 2019, in December 2019, they merged into London Chamber, and they promised that they would do 4 events a year in Croydon. And then they did one in 2020 in January at the college.
2 months before
Yeah,
COVID hit.
so the second one was going to be at the end of March. They were going to do 4 a year. We went into
Wow.
lockdown on the 24th
Yes.
of March.
Yes, my birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What a present.
Yeah, never going to forget that.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so we went down into lockdown, and obviously everybody knows what happened, and you know, some good came out of that, I must say. And then 21 came about, and there were lots of Zoom meetings going on and all that, which I'm not a big fan of. And then, you know, I started reaching out to the chamber again to say, look, are you going to start these events again in Croydon?
Yeah.
You did say you were going to do 4.
Yeah.
And didn't really get a response from them. And then I thought, and then people were coming to me, just saying, Rajan, what's happening? So this is now sort of beginning summer of 22, saying, you know, what's happening? Why isn't there any events going on? Or is there any events going on, Rajan? Are you attending anything? I said, I'm really sorry, but there's nothing happening. So I thought, this is silly. You know what? You know, let's just do one ourselves.
Yeah.
So we were blessed. We had some really great clients. One of them was the Tomorrow Hub on the High Street. And the other one was Croydon Vision. And Susanette, co-founder with me, was CEO there. So I approached them and I said, look, I want to do a network event. Haven't got any money, but I've got contacts that will come to the event, and I need a venue. Will you give me your venue? So I thought at least one of them will say yes. Both of them said yes. And I must give a big shout out to Emmanuel, who was the manager at Tomorrow Hub. He was also, in a way, indirectly a co-founder of Connecting Croydon. We did our first one in January 2023. More than 100 people attended. It was a free event. And Susan had laid out a lovely spread of food and that. And yeah, and that just proved that there was an appetite from local businesses in Croydon. And in the first year, we did 10. We always picked a different venue. We wanted to collaborate with organizations. In the second year, we did 8, and we did 8 last year. And we've done fourth one is on the 9th of July. If I don't plug it, they'll kill me. So 9th of July at Box Park, we want to get 100 plus businesses in the room from 5 till 8. And we're collaborating with Croydon Business Association and Box Park itself. So love to see you there. So yeah, it came about from a hunger from me to say, why can't I shake hands with you? What's happened? We were so great 2 years ago, and now there's nothing happening. And also there was a hunger from the local business community to say, what's happened to this regular events we were having? So that's how it was formed. And I think the greatest pride for me, and I should say for my team as well, is that we've raised, more than £10,000. We're a registered charity trust now. The fees you pay to attend, 50% goes to the host for the refreshments, and the other 50% goes into our community pot. So from the money we've raised in the last 3 years, we've donated to 10 different good causes locally, and we get them back 6 months later to give us an impact report.
Wow.
So we're very, very proud of that. I think we're probably the only network organization that does it in Croydon.
Businesses with impact.
Yeah. So, and that was, I must say, that was Susanette's idea, where she said, you can have the venue, no problem, Rajan. But why don't we also try and have a sort of charity angle to it? And her thought was, let's get small grassroots charities in the room, because often they have the heart of a charity, but they don't have the mindset of a business. But that's what you need to survive. And she said, if they're in the room, they can be talking to businesses, and I may want to sponsor them or mentor them or be my charity for 1 year or supply them with something. So that was the idea. And then obviously from the funds we collected, we thought we could support them as well. So that it's grown out of that. And that's a really beautiful thing to see.
Fantastic.
That we're giving back. And I think that's why businesses don't mind giving the £15 or £20 or whatever we charge. They know that because they select the charity. We bring the charities, we put them up on the wall. The charity gets 60 seconds, 2 minutes on the mic. Then you go and put a tick which charity you think you want to support. Amazing. So it's all very transparent. It's all done by the people in the room.
We're examples of that because we went and did the painting for Music Relief Foundation, didn't we?
Yes, yeah. No,
them,
thank you for that. Yeah. So, and the Business Exchange Hub has been so helpful. We've had, I think, 2 events, if not 3 here over the last 3 years, So, and yeah. So, yeah.
Collaboration.
It's all about collaboration. Life is about, with your life partner, to your family, to your friends, to business. It's all about collaboration. That is a really important thing that people need to, as I said, it's not about business, it's not about network, it's about just collaborating, saying, how can we work together? Definitely. How can we collaborate to make Croydon? So our tagline for Connecting Croydon is towards a great and confident Croydon.
Towards a great and confident Croydon.
Yeah.
So Rajan, we've spoken so much around legacy and impact, and that's fabulous. I want to just quickly touch on taking Connecting Croydon to the next level.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is it new partnerships, venues, causes?
Yeah, so the 9th of July is our 4th event this year, and it's we haven't got any other venues booked now. So we've got a blank sheet to work from. Next Tuesday, the 30th of June, we've got a 6-month review. Hence why we've interviewed 15 supporters of Connecting Croydon. We're taking all of that information to the meeting next week. And one thing we're concentrating on is on a website and that, but the other concentration is what next for Connecting Croydon. We've realized that we do need to level up.
Okay.
Because one thing we've noticed is that the numbers attending has dropped from 24 to 25. So having spoken to the 15 people and realizing ourselves, one thing we've realized, there's 16,000 businesses in Croydon. 1,000 of them are large, probably 50 employees or more. National organizations, probably difficult to get in the room, but that leaves 15,000. Out of the 15,000, all these stats apparently are from the website, so you can get this.
See, I told you the stats.
40% of those 15,000 are one-man bands. Okay, so if you take that out, that's 6,000. That still leaves 9,000 businesses with 1+. So one of the things we want to do going forward is we want to tap into and start asking businesses that employ between 5 and 25 employees into the room. To say, and obviously we need to give them what's in it for them to be in the room.
Yeah.
So that meeting next week is about understanding why they would want to come, what we need to put, what environment we need to create for them to say, you know what, I want to attend that. And we've got some great individuals who I want to highlight. So Susanette, obviously co-founder, Sam and Claire, who have been with us a few years and stepped back only last year. They were our media content and, sort of PR agents and really lifted our profile. We've got Brian from DAFAS Foundation. We've got Tenyo, who's a great supporter. We've got Joe, and we've got Ash, who's a videographer and creating our LinkedIn posts at the moment. And we also had Rachel, who was with us for a little while. Fantastic content writer for us. So we've had some real great help. And I'll also put a plug out there. So I'll look at that camera. We're looking for a content creator right now who's in Croydon, can maybe give us 2 to 4 hours a month to help us keep, generating these posts for LinkedIn and Instagram and that. So if that's you, please reach out.
So Rajan, most people know you as Mr. LinkedIn. I've obviously seen a couple of things recently to do with PK and the Gumball 3000. That seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, so again, Croydon broker, which is chartered status, insurance brokers, are punching above our weight. I always like to say that. So we're very lucky. We've been the appointed insurance broker for the Gumball Rally since 2017. Amit, director in our office and a chartered broker himself, has actually taken part 3 times. This year, the Gumball Rally was from Miami to Mexico City, started on the 4th of June, finished on the 12th. Do you know why it was in America this year?
No.
Because of the World Cup. It took in some World Cup games. So Richard and Amit flew out, which they have to do every year. Last year, it was from Istanbul to Ibiza. So they flew to Istanbul. Wow. We have to go there on the 4th. We have a gazebo or a marquee that goes up. We hand out all the insurance policy documents. So to give you the complexity of the Gumball, this year we had to go through 3 American states and then into Mexico itself, which is a completely different country. And one of the problems we faced this year was, because of our chartered status and the connections, and Amit's been doing it, we could get the insurance and that. But when it came to paying the money to the Mexican company, our network here was a little bit, whoa, hang on, money laundering, who are we paying this money to? Drugs, all sorts of things, everything. And I must say, Amit, the poor chap, probably pulled his hair out for a couple of days because, there was a slim chance that this may not happen. In the end, it was agreed that we would pay the insurance company directly. We wouldn't go through a broker or anything directly. So it was all resolved. But that gives you the complexity behind these things. Next year, sold to Japan.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I've said,
a whole different
got any
time
guest
zone.
tickets?
Well, I said to Amit, I think
join?
it's only right he takes me with him.
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. No, I wouldn't have any other way.
But I mean, that's one example. Other examples, we insure some private members clubs in London. They're opening in New York and Miami. So, having that chartered status, sometimes clients look for that. They want to work with a chartered broker. But it also gives us the expertise and the knowledge to place these sort of difficult risk and as you said, de-risk a client and help them with that. So yeah, really proud, and something we want to shout about a little bit more, that we chartered and as a Croydon broker punching above our weight.
And linking back to LinkedIn, obviously, I don't know how much they go up now, but you used to do your weekly roundups and your pictures with everyone and stuff.
I've got really bad at that. You probably noticed, So I don't know why people say you're still on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What I do, I always try and positively repost and comment on something that I connect with, or something I like, or something I want to share or support. So that's probably why you see me on LinkedIn. But that Friday post that I used to do, I've become very bad. So yeah, I've got to get back to that because
I've called you out now.
Yeah, you have called me out. I try and do it every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or even monthly now.
Monthly round,
because I do, I'm very grateful that lots of people visit us. So I want to say thank you to them and highlight them for coming and visiting us. That's one way of highlighting them. So I do enjoy that. I think that's important to share who you're connecting with, who you're meeting, because indirectly you're helping them and you're helping yourself. So I think that's a really, and I encourage everybody to do that. LinkedIn should be used to demystify what you do. Because if I walk around saying, I'm an insurance broker, what does that mean? Everybody's an insurance broker. And in fact, it's not very sexy. People walk away from you thinking, insurance, I don't want to talk to this guy. So use LinkedIn to show off what you do, demystify what you do. And it's a great tool for that. It's a real B2B tool. And I often find people, what is that? What are you posting? This is not Facebook, and I think people will be aware of that. If you haven't got a photo on your profile, nobody's going to look at you. If you post without a photo and a video, nobody's going to read your post. And how do I know that? Because that's what I do.
I think it's getting the balance between like the business element, but also showing a bit of personality, because there's far too many posts out there that clearly maybe were not written by the individual themselves.
And
so
how do you know that? I tell you how I know that.
Extra long semicolon. What's the?
Well, they're long in length. They're using all sorts of icons all these immediate, symbols, and you just now looking at it thinking, that's AI. You don't even read it. You just go past it,
And there's certain giveaway phrases, but here's the truth. The reality is, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, that's AI. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, I know the tool is there now on LinkedIn to say, do you want it to generate something? Yeah, and look, use it if you want, but you've got to personalize it. It's got to be from you.
Element of saving time, but
yes,
also keeping
yes,
true
yes,
to
yes,
yourself.
yes, yeah. Otherwise, because it's like, going back to what we said about in a network room when you meet somebody, if Jekyll and Hyde, you said, if you're going to be too personal, at some stage, people are going to call you out. And on LinkedIn, it's exactly the same. If you're trying to be something you're not, in real life as well as on LinkedIn or on any platform, at some stage, you're going to be called out by someone to say, that's not you, So, yeah. But no, it's a great tool, I encourage everybody to use it. I'm not special. I'm nothing, I haven't had any training on it. I just thought it was a great tool. And I'll give a shout out to a gentleman called Pinder. He owns Falcon Insurance Brokers in Birmingham. He's the one who got me into it.
Okay.
He used to post regularly and I contacted him. I've never met him. I've tried to meet him once or twice. Haven't met him. We've spoken on the phone and on LinkedIn. And I said, what is this LinkedIn? And he goes, Rajan, you should use this. And I think I've overtaken him now. So, but yeah, so that's how I got into it. But it's a great business tool, but use it as a business tool. It's not the answer to all your problems, but it should be in addition to what you do.
Yeah. Just a quick question. You mentioned earlier on around the Gumball Rally. Without naming names, what is the riskiest project/client that you've ever insured?
What, for the Gumball Rally?
No, just over your career.
Well, I can't talk about PK. I've only been there since November, but at Covershaw, risk. So you mean as a risk, what was the most risk? Oh my God. I couldn't tell you in terms of, I think we probably had a few come to us where we said, whoa, we can't help you. So I think we had a few like that, property damaged or fire damaged or, had a subsidence issue and they haven't insured it for 4 years and now they want to insure it because they want to get a loan on it. And you probably get those every Friday. Okay. That's what we call a Friday risk.
Right, nice.
They ring you at 3:00 on a Friday. Can you help?
Yeah. Your bag's already packed.
Yeah. And I'll come to that because when we started our brokerage in 2003, you take everything and you just throw everything at the wall and whatever sticks. And what I would tell every new business is don't do that. Let me tell you, do not do that. Yeah, straight, true to your values, true to your conviction about what you're offering, the price you're offering at. It may be difficult, but stay true to it. Don't do what I did because it is not good for your business. It's not good for your health. It's definitely not good for your bottom line.
Confusing.
Yeah. Well, it's more than confusing. You're not sticking to your principles and your values because you're devaluing everything you believe in just to try and win some business. And what you find is the caliber and the quality of the client and the business is not what you set up in business for. Then why are you doing it?
Yeah. And in one single sentence, how do you get people excited about insurance?
I say to them that when things go wrong, your doctor, your accountant, your solicitor, not even your wife or best friend can help. Only your insurance broker can.
There you go. Thank you.
And that is true, by the way.
Rajan, don't overthink this. I've got some rapid fire questions
for
you. Okay. So Africa, the Uganda, Balham, Croydon, Purley. Which place feels most like home?
Right now, Purley, because mom and dad, and every day is a golden day.
Insurance, financial advice, or networking events?
Networking.
Rectory Grove office or Connecting Croydon meetup?
No, Rectory Grove. When you come and see it, you'll see why.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take you on that offer. One word that describes Croydon's business community?
Passionate, I would say.
Favorite Croydon venue for networking?
Oh.
I won't hold you to it, don't worry.
No, I'll be completely honest. That's a really interesting one. We've been to a few. Not because Tegan's in it. I would say this is a lovely venue for a number of reasons. The venue itself is great. Giraffes in there on the ground floor, very easy to get to, and parking out. So these are all the things we look at. So I think for a number of reasons, I would say definitely it's a lovely venue to have an event at. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. A habit that's helped you most in business?
Keeping my mouth shut and listening.
Okay. 3 words that describe PK Partnerships.
3 words. Okay. Generational diversity. We're adaptable. And trust.
3 words that describe Connecting Croydon.
We have 3 words. So that's champion, grow, and connect. Yeah.
Love it. And one simple thing that a local business could do this month that could create more connection.
Attend 9th of July.
What gives you hope about Croydon's future?
I think we've got a good mayor in place. He took on a real difficult challenge 4 years ago. Reminds me of Rishi Sunak taking on the Prime Minister role in all that mess. So, credit to him. We are seeing green shoots everywhere. I think Dingwall Road is a really good example of positivity. Even walking down George Street, you see a new restaurant and this, even on North End, everywhere. So I think there is definitely green shoots everywhere. It is positive. And I think in life, as in business, you have to look for the positive signs. If you keep looking for the negative, you're going to keep finding them. Sure. It's like, if somebody said, tell me 10 bad things about Rajan, you'll come up with 12. If you said, give me 3 good things about Rajan, it'll take them 20 minutes to come up with 1. So it's that sort of thing.
It might be the other way around.
But that's human nature.
Yes,
we're always looking for the bad. Like
Yes.
newspapers say, bad news sells. So they don't tell you good stories. They tell you bad stories because that's what sells. So, and I think in business it's the same. You can beat yourself up, or you can look up and say, you know what? Wow, what a beautiful day today.
Do you have a final takeaway for our viewers and listeners, Rajan?
Just in general, be kind.
Be kind. That's nice.
That's
Simple
what
and effective.
that's what Hina says. Be kind.
Be kind. Amazing. I think that this conversation is going to be one that I'm going to look forward to reflecting back on, and it's been a very wholesome start to our day. And I think the things that have come through so loud and clear listening to you speak is just that importance of how you treat people, and how that translates into business. That you're not having to be Jekyll and Hyde. Who you are as a person, and that level of integrity and connection is so important. I can see why you're such a champion and advocate for Croydon, and thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you to Tegan and the team for inviting me, and thank you to you. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Towards a great and confident Croydon.